Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Spark of Genius Flesh and Blood production. We have a little bit of that replay action in Blitz. As we said before, we're going to be trying to get more kind of replay commentaries to get a little bit deeper into the Blitz meta as Worlds is fast approaching. We're recording this about halfway through October. It's only 3 weeks left. It's getting
Hmm.
it's getting pretty close here. So, working on our Blitz games. Announcements that we have. Both myself and Rob will be at Worlds. We will be playing in the calling, because neither of
Correct.
us are good enough to play at Worlds main event. Just we either bubble
One
out or
day.
just don't have XP.
One
Yeah,
day.
one day.
Yeah, one day.
No, I don't think either of us care enough to grind it out. But,
It's just the
anyways,
time. Yeah.
we will be there all 3 days though. So we will have separate announcements about that on Twitter,
Hmm.
based on like how you can find us. We have a very specific way on how you can find us coming soon. We're gonna have mats there, some promos, but those details will come a little bit later. For now, just know that we will be there all 3 days.
Hmm.
Um,
Some other exciting
what
news.
else?
We got a promo.
We got a
Spoiler. A
spoiler.
spoiler promo. A spoiler.
We got a
not
spoiler
not a promo.
card.
Yeah.
It's not a promo.
Promotional.
Ignore Rob completely. It is late for him. We got
I
a
got
spoiler
promos in the
card.
mind. I think for some reason.
Yeah, we know what it is. We're prepping the video. It will be released November 1st. The only thing we have spoiled it is a mech card. That's the only thing we've spoiled on our Twitter.
Hmm.
There's no pictures, no nothing. You don't know what kind of mech card it is. Just that it's a mech card. We are Spark of Genius after all, so
Hmm.
it's pretty nice.
Yeah. Chris Bewley
It
was nice
isn't.
enough to give us something that kind
Yeah,
of
what a
flavor to
bro.
the channel, right? So it was really nice.
Makes sense. Yep. But that's it. We're not telling you anything else. Maybe like a picture of like the bottom text, like everyone else doing, but that's about it. So
Picture of
don't
the whole
expect that
card.
much out of us.
The whole thing.
Yeah, just picture of the card. You just have to like you're gonna have to minute you
Yeah.
scroll like
It'll
a
be
lot, but
eight
we'll
bit.
be releasing 8-bit releasing on the first. Without further ado, this is Phi post ban, so no Mask of the Pouncing Lynx, versus Briar, and that is Potato is myself on the top,
Hmm.
versus Nia Tran, Battle Hardened Toronto winner on the bottom, Real Walrus, 10 out
Yeah.
of 10.
Hmm.
I forgot why I was playing. Oh, we were just I was just playing Nia just because I think Rob was unavailable or something like that. I don't
Yeah, I
really
had to
know.
go, and you guys
Uh,
just wanted to play some games. So I figured, why not? You guys record your
might as well
games, and
record it.
we'll talk
Yeah,
about it.
Nia's a very good Blitz player. Obviously,
Hmm.
the Battle Hardened one was Blitz. He plays a fair amount of Blitz. He loves it so much. And so this is and he's played a lot of Briar, especially in Blitz. And so we're gonna play out this game here and see how it goes here.
All right, let's
I
start it up.
believe I don't remember who won the role here. This is on Talshar, by the way, in case anyone is
Right.
curious. Um, this Briar build is the channel mount build, so it'll be running a lot of Earth cards,
Yep.
be entwined. So he's starting off with Bramble Spark because
Hmm.
he's got the Tome for the reveal. And he's got Weave Earth for reveal too, and then he's got a what happened to his there. So he's got the Sonata here. I don't know what happened to his hand at the bottom there. It just disappeared for some reason. Um,
Yeah, might be cropped, but
yeah, and so he pitched for Sonata
hmm
and he got a rabble off of it.
hmm
And he's essentially just trying to do so. As you can tell, Fi, I didn't run any arcane barrier. Why didn't I run any arcane barrier? I don't want to pitch for arcane,
hmm
so it's kind of like I am going second in this matchup.
yeah.
So I was pretty aware that I'd be taking a little bit arcane up front. I was just hoping it wouldn't be very much. Unfortunately, he got the Sonata, so he's going to be dealing
You
two
don't.
arcane to me.
Yeah. Oh, did he flip two attack actions off the top, or did he grab two attack actions? Right.
I think so.
Yeah, that's
I'm
how he
pretty sure
took
he
two.
did.
Yeah, unless the bramble. Well, the bramble gives one
No,
arcane,
no, no.
right? So
I took one from Bramble Spark,
okay, and then
and I
one from
took
Sonata.
one from Sonata. He only got Rabble off of it, and then he's just sacking
Okay,
Rosetta.
that
So
that
he had
makes
a
sense. Yeah.
because he had Weave Earth, Tome of Harvest, Sonata, and he grabbed he grabbed the Bramble.
Pretty
Sorry,
spicy
he
turn one.
grabbed the Rabble
Dang.
off. Yeah, very good because he did 6 damage to me. Arcane turn one. I couldn't block it.
Well, four, I
That being
guess.
said,
One, and
yeah,
two, right? Yeah.
yeah. That being said, I could have run Arcane Barrier one and maybe blocked a little bit instead of Shuko
Ah,
or something like that.
his
But
hand
that
came
would have
back, by the
just
way, right at the
his
bottom.
hand came up and
Here it is.
yeah. I think he was just pitching. I think we're playing quite fast here, so he was just pitching and playing everything
Yeah.
pretty. Yeah, so I pretty much blocked with everything. Drew up Mounting Anger, two Brands, and Brown with Cinderclaw.
Hmm.
Starting off with the Mounting Anger, just trying to get a Rising or a Brand banished for the +1.
Yep.
Nia's
Missing a
just
quick
the nice
armor
thing about
block.
Runeblade, yeah, Nia could just block with 2 pieces of armor for 4 and take
Yeah.
a hell of a lot of nothing, which is quite nice for the Briar player here. Nia's hand and Twine Lightning, Scar, Bramble, and Autumn's Touch, pretty good because he can Bramble fuse it with Autumn's Touch. Uh, the issue is unless he's at lower life, he doesn't have a source of go again because Scar he would need to
That's
be at
right.
lower life.
That's right. Yeah.
In this case, on my turn, I'm just trying to do a little bit of damage here. So you could see Nia's taking the Ember
Yep.
Blade, and he's probably gonna try to go to 15 is his goal to make sure the Scar has go again. So that's why he's taking this Ember Blade, and he's taking the Rising
Right.
um, to go to 14. So I
Yep.
activate Phi, I get the Phoenix Flame, I play the Phoenix Flame to get more chip damage. Nia blocks with Iron Weave because why not? Like he's not really gonna
Yeah.
need.
You want to block with that early so you can play it after without the guilt of knowing you gave up one block, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Phi on hits are really not that scary, so blocking up here is fine. I do have
Yep.
Mask too, so that was the reason why he blocked that one specifically. So I do have Mask of Momentum, not Mask of the Pouncing Lynx.
Yep.
So that Phoenix Flame actually draws a card, which is why Nia blocked there and
Mm.
he didn't block earlier. And then he just takes the remaining damage, which is the yellow brand, I believe.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so
So
Nia's now got
fused
go
Bramble.
again. Yeah, he used Brambles, gonna fuse from the Arms Touch. Um,
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
activate
Creating
Grasp
a rune chant makes sense. The extra blue pitch.
because
It's pretty.
yeah,
It's a lot
Rune
of
Chant
hit.
is true damage in this matchup. It's
Yeah.
true damage, right?
That's true. You
So
just can't block it. Yeah. Coming in
yeah,
for a nice
uh,
7. So you took one arcane, I believe, from Bramble here, or you're. Oh, you took two already, right? Because you were at 16, so it took two arcane,
I took 2 Arcane,
one
one
rune
from Bramble,
chant.
one from the Rune Chant.
Yeah.
Yep.
Coming in for
And now
7.
it's
Go
coming in for
again.
7.
It'd be
So I have
funny.
to look at my hand.
It'd be funny if the rune
Yeah,
chants brought you to equal health or something, and so he would lose the go again.
that would be yeah. We'll lose to go. It's true, but I think Nia calculated this
Yeah, he
obviously.
knew what he was doing. Yeah.
Uh, Usually knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
But so I have to look at my hand. How do I block this? Right. So let's pause for a sec here
Sure.
if
Let me
we can.
pause. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Analyze
I
your
don't
hand.
know. So on my side here, I have Spreading Flame, Lava Vein Loyalty, Blaze Headlong, and a Ronin Renegade. So I have how much armor? I have 6 armor up front. So I have 4 Blade Break off Shuko and Mask, and I have not Battle Worn Temper, 2 Temper I
Yeah.
believe from the
Temper from the same
Furnace.
scale. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is coming in for 7 physical. Nia's got 1 card left in hand. This has go again.
Yeah. So you can
So the
expect a
two
Rosetta
things
at least from here.
at the very least.
Yeah.
So on the low end, it's Rosetta, Pass, and he Arsenals.
Arsenal.
So he's going to be doing 2 more arcane damage to me. 2 physical damage I can probably just block out with the Furnace. So I'm not super concerned with that. On the high end, he's coming in with another 4 go again. So maybe like a Rabble and he flips a red,
Mhm.
comes in for 4 go again, and then a Rosetta. So he's coming in for 8 in that case. And yeah, assuming I take a full Scar and go to 7, that's lethal off the 8, right? And he's going to be doing arcane to me regardless.
Right.
So I have to think about. I have to really think about whether my hand is like reasonable there. I believe the Ronin Renegade's a blue. I'm gonna zoom in
It
for
is
the.
red. I will let you know. It is red.
Oh, it is red.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, because you can see the full
I
amount.
got
Yeah.
the
Okay.
big
I can.
screen here. Yeah.
Yeah. I can only see that side point. So
Yeah.
this is is it Lava Vein red?
They're all red. You got a full red hand right now.
Yeah. So my issue is what is my turn? My turn is Ronin, Blaze, Lava Vein, and a Phoenix Flame. Those are the things I could do off no pitch, right? So what I would probably do if I were taking a bunch of damage here is start with a Ronin, play Blaze. Sorry, probably Ronin, Lava Vein, Blaze, because you want the break point to be on the mask, right? So you're gonna want your 4 attack to be on the mask to, because Nia's got
Yeah.
one
Just make it
block
really awkward to
left.
block.
Correct. So he's got 1 block left on the grasp. So he's gonna be able to block with a card and grasp because he's gonna get
Yeah.
arcane damage through every single time
Mhm.
off like Bramble and stuff. So he's gonna have an embodiment of Earth. So I can't really stop embodiment of Earth. So blocking with a non-attack and a piece of armor, he'll be able to block it. But at least I am forcing out that other armor piece. So that would be the optimal way to play out the hand if you're not taking any damage there.
Mhm.
The Spreading Flames is not like it's usually not as good on a 4 card hand. Like that's the one card you don't necessarily want to see there. It's really good on like big combo turns with like Artivore and stuff like that. If I did have a blue, then I could consider starting with that. It wouldn't get much value. It would really only be getting a 1 Phoenix Flame because the chain has to be lower. The chain has to be higher than the attack. So like if I want to buff Emberblade, for instance,
Mm,
it needs to be hitting on chain like 4.
right.
Ronin would have to be on 4. Blaze would have to be on 5. Like, I'm not getting to that much chain link, right?
Little
So
expensive, yeah.
yeah,
So would you
spreading is only
consider
giving me
maybe
+1.
blocking up and keeping spreading in hand for next turn until maybe you draw into an Art of War or something to completely blow out the game? Or do you think you should take this damage and come back for not a great turn, but it's something?
Mm. Yeah. So in this case, I'm looking at the damage to damage, and the only 3 block I have in my hand is Lava Vein Loyalty. So that's the one I'm inclined to block with.
Hmm.
I could also throw the Furnace in front of it, which would be fine. So be blocking for 5 here. So that would be okay.
Hmm.
And then if I wanted to fully block, I can throw in the Spreading Flames. I can possibly hit him back with Ronin and Arsenal Blaze. Oh, sorry, I hit him back with Blaze Headlong and Arsenal Ronin. I can hit him with Ronin and Blaze Headlong, but it's not lethal and it's just damage, so it's not
Yeah.
as good. So I'd be incentivized to block more likely than not. It's not an Art of War turn. I don't have a
Yeah.
5 card hand.
Want to
Um,
play and see what you do?
let's play and see what Eric does. I ended up taking the 5, going YOLO here.
So you took the full 7
Um,
from Scar, and now we're dealing with
yep.
a Rosetta
You
for
you
4
can't
more.
you can't let your memes be dreams. So the fact that I saw
Gotta
the
go
Rosetta,
all
so
in. Yeah.
I took the risk that the card in his hand was not just a 0 for 4, and I can just Furnace and go
Yeah.
to 5 here. That
Yeah.
was the risk I was willing, because I need to swing back for some tempo and try to force a mass trigger and cards out of his hand. If
Mm.
I start like trying to like fatigue this thing out, it's not. And I still have 4 armor, well 5 with the Furnace, so I'm not like super scared. So I'm probably gonna do the play I just mentioned. I should be Ronin, Lava Vein, Blaze,
It's a Blaze.
see
Yeah.
what Blaze,
All right,
Phoenix
so
Flame.
looking at the real Walrus's hand, we have a good hand though. Like so, Channel Mount is a pretty dead card here because you can't pitch for it, and you have no other Earth cards. So
He's on 4 reds.
he's on 4 reds. You got Snatch, so you got 3 pretty good attacks. You can E-Strike for 5 into a Snatch, quite good. You can't utilize your Creepers here. There are no
Right.
non-attacks that you can play as an instant. So a pretty dead
That he can
hand,
afford,
but
yeah.
I mean, if he had the
That
full
hand.
hand, it's fine because you have E-Strike into
Mhm.
Snatch, which is quite good, but no source of go again. So
Yep.
not
So
great.
he just decides to block. Most of his cards here are going to be blocking for 3 with embodiment.
Yeah.
Uh, I end up Blaze Headlonging here.
Okay. Yeah, not no Lava Vein loyalty.
Yeah, there was a screw up with the Tal Shard. He's only spent 2. He's only meant to block with Channel for 4.
Yeah. Channel a great blocking card if
Um,
you have the embodiment of Earth.
yeah, so the reason I do that is probably to see what kind of blocking cards he has. So if he blocks like the first attack, my
Yeah.
plan kind of fails already because there's no point in waiting on Blaze Headlong for your third attack if he's blocking the first attack.
Yeah.
So I just launch it at him because I launch it at him as a second attack. So if he doesn't block that one, and then I hit with Lava Vein, and then I hit with a Phoenix Flame, the Phoenix Flame is on the
Phoenix
mass
Flame is
trigger.
a mask. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Exactly. So
I
that's
believe
why I
he
did
took the
that.
3 from Blaze here.
He took the second 3 from Lava Vein
Oh, Lava
Loyalty.
Vein loyalty. Sorry. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And what I did is I Phoenix Flamed, and here I'm going to attack with Phoenix Flame and try to bait out another 0 for 3, right?
Mm,
So if I attack here and he takes the Phoenix Flame, he has to block this Phoenix Flame with like a grasp. Because if I do have another 0 for 3, he gets immediately punished because then he has to
yeah.
block with a card from hand,
Yeah, it's kind of like
right?
the
Because
whole
then
Kodachi
I'm burning
situation,
math,
right? Like, do you block second Kodachi to prevent the third card from being like a 4 attack
which is
go
what
again
he's
or
doing.
something, right?
Yeah.
So he is blocking
Yeah.
this out to just completely shut down Mask on this turn.
Yeah, because if I draw like Lava Burst or something, he's immensely punished. So it's really not worth taking that risk if you have the armor.
Hmm.
So I end up arsenaling the Spreading Flames, and
Yeah.
Nia is keeping his.
It's
So he
pretty
can
awkward too that his Entwined Lightning can't gain go again either here.
he
So
can just
no
E-Strike
freezing.
5 go again, and then come in with Entwine if he wants. He can E-Strike for 7. I
Yeah,
think because I'm at
probably a
5.
7 here. Oh yeah, I guess maybe because you're at
No,
5,
I'm
you
at
stick to
5.
5. Yeah,
5, yeah, 5 is lethal,
it's
so I would
true.
probably just do 5 here, and then I can't just take all of this because eventually I'm just gonna die to Arcane here, right?
Yeah, yeah. So this 5 is pretty much block. A must block.
I have to block. Yep.
And then he can bring it down to 1, and just kind of block until he gets a Source of Arcane to finish you off, right? So you're gonna
Yep.
be looking to probably block out the Entwined Lightning, even though there's no go again. Even though it's not
Mm,
lethal, you don't want to be at 1 against Briar.
you do not. Let's pause real quickly here.
Yeah.
So another kind of crucial blocking turn. I have Art of War in hand as the 5 player,
Oh yeah,
so
you
I
got it.
really, I really do have to think of this is kind of do or die, right?
Mm.
So this is where if there's a time to use armor, now is the time. So I have 5 right now, so I can technically full block with armor if I wanted to preserve life. Worst case scenario has a 0 for 4, which he does, but I don't necessarily know that.
Yeah, but you can pretty much expect it. Most of Briar's
Yep.
cards are zeros for fours anyway.
Yeah. That Ronin Renegade's a blue, I believe,
It is blue,
if I
so yeah,
recall correctly.
yeah,
Yeah. So I am running the blue.
it's a
So
pretty good
I
hand.
remember I agonized over this because like if I can keep my full hand, I probably win. The issue is I can't. Like even if I full block with armor, and
Yeah,
he attacks for 4 and I go to 1, it's still very risky.
yeah.
However, in aggro mirror, it's kind of do or die, right?
He's gonna
Because I
run
am
that
on the block.
that D
Yeah.
react that deals one arcane to you.
Yep. And if I'm thinking of his outs, I don't particularly know his deck, but all the arcane he can do to me, Sonata, he's got 1 left in the deck because he's used 1 already. If he's running Sigil of Suffering, he might have 2. He
Sigil of
might have
Suffering.
2.
Yeah, yeah,
He might have 2, right? Not all of these Blitz decks have the Sigil of Suffering in them, right? Because it's a dead card into like arcane damage for like Kano and Icelander, unless they're hitting you with attacks, I guess.
yeah.
But
Nourishing emptiness, a
um,
thing, but yeah,
yeah, but then if they pitch and block the
the arcane is only blocking for
arcane, it
three.
doesn't
Yeah,
go up. It doesn't go up to 4. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. So it could be running that, but that's it. That's really the only arcane he could do to me
And
on my
Rosetta,
turn.
pretty much anytime he has a big enough hand, he can get that off
On my turn though,
for
like
your
he
own
has to
turn. Yeah,
survive my turn.
that's a
Yeah,
good
he
point.
would have
Yeah,
to survive my turn. So the key here is, do
yeah,
I block and go for it? Because if I full commit my armor and take a 0 for 4 to the face, worst case scenario, I'm at 1, and that's kind of the piece. I can also block with a lava burst, banish a blaze headlong with the art of war, and draw 2
yeah.
cards. And then with my remaining pitch, I can spreading flames. Pray to God I don't just brick and attack really wide, and I'm probably able to kill him because he only has 1 armor on creepers, and that's all he's got. So because he's been using armor aggressively, and I still have it up. So those are kind of my options, whether I want to just commit all the armor here, whether I want to save any of the armor here. Uh, my only 3 block in hand is Lava Burst. However, that might be like the card that wins the game. I don't have links. I don't have Mask of Pouncing links to like grab it.
Mm-hmm.
So those are kind of the options I have as the 5 player.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what Eric does.
All
Let's see what
right,
past Eric
past
does.
Eric, what do you do? What do I do
Yeah,
here?
I'm
Yeah.
swearing a little bit. I'm calling him names.
Yeah.
Just general kind of banter. So I
Okay,
am
so
blocking with the
like you
3.
said, you are blocking the 3 with your armor. Pretty much
Mhm.
all of the remaining armor besides your Mask of
Mask.
Momentum. Yeah,
Yep.
which you want to keep for as long as you can, because it'll matter a lot if you can get a Phoenix Flame to draw you a card.
Yeah, so like going to 3 is okay here. Like he could, like I'm forcing him. I'm calling him on it. Like if you have another attack, you'll
He's
probably
gonna
get mask out of me.
lightning press. Boom.
Yeah, lightning first. Like so if he has lightning first from Arsenal, I'm not playing around it. So it's
Of
really
course, yeah. Okay, so just shoving
so
out the Entwine Lightning here makes
he has
sense.
the entwine. I'm a little bit sad, but at the same time, I kind of expected it.
Yeah, yeah, no big surprises.
Yeah. I'm just
Mm,
happy he didn't have a non-attack here. Because if he had
moving.
a non-attack and popped the Iron Weave, I'd be dead for sure.
That's true. Yeah, Rosetta then coming in for 2/2. So
Hmm.
I would say that you probably want to look at using the mask here to block.
Yep.
You hate to do it,
Just go
but
for broke.
just imagine that you're not going to get the chance to really go for these big turns anymore, right? Without mask or with mask anymore. So it feels like just
Mm.
keeping yourself alive and getting a good Art of War off makes more sense than keeping mask around.
Yeah. I remember my thought process here was, do I block with Lava Burst and go to 2, or do I block with Mask and go to 1?
Yeah, yeah.
The reason why is because of potential Sonata plays, because that was the one out that I was thinking about that I know
You
he
mean he
has for
like
sure.
creepers? He blocks with the attack action Sonata or creepers out
And
Sonata for a game.
so if he blocks with a card, it's possible for him to Creepers Out Sonata, pitch into it. So he has to have it, have the pitch, and hit both. So a lot of stars have to align, but
It's
that was kind of like,
relatively
how can I
easy
lose the
though.
game?
Like I think it's relatively easy. Have an attack action to block with, have enough pitch for both your Sonata and Spellbound Creepers, and maybe Sonata like 4 cards off the top, and then get one pair
But then
and
you
you're
have
okay.
Yeah, but then you have to hit 2 and 2.
Well, you have
That's the key.
well if you're at 2,
If I'm
yes.
at
If you're at 2, I'm sorry,
I'm at
yes.
2.
He has to hit 2
So
and
I'm
2.
just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's like, what is the likelihood
Okay.
everything
That
happens
that
and he
is
flips
not
2 and
very
2?
likely, I will admit. But if it was one arcane damage to close out the game, very
Exactly.
likely, I would say. But
So I was thinking
2
about
is a
likely,
lot harder. Yeah.
and 2 gets around Sigil of Suffering. Like if he has Sigil
Yeah.
of Suffering, Look, if he has Sigil and Sonata, what can I say? He's a god. Because
Okay.
we're only nine cards in the deck. What does he
Yeah.
have? 31 cards left in the
He's
deck.
got
He's just a
31
god.
left.
If
Yeah.
he's just a god if he just draws everything in the hand he needs it, right? But
That's
it's just like
just
I'm thinking about
the stars align for you and go buy a
exactly.
lottery
It's like
ticket, right? At that point.
Blitz variance OP, right? But
Hmm.
like in this particular case, I'm trying to think about all my outs,
Yep.
all of Nia's outs,
All of
so that I
Nia's
can try to
outs.
play around it.
Yeah.
Are we still paused? I might have
Oh, it's a
accidentally
good
paused.
point. Nope, I pushed play. So you're just thinking a
Okay.
lot. You're just thinking about the plays.
Oh, because we just paused beforehand. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I just played. So we are seeing the mask block going down to 2, I believe, right? Or no, this is a 1. You're going
No,
down
I
to
go to
1.
one
Okay, so
because I'm
you're
like,
opening up the fact that he could Sonata you for 1 here.
yeah, I'm just like if he has Sonata, he has Sonata. He has the one card in the game. But unfortunately, he ends up drawing this one out, which
And
is
he drew
a
the
little
wow, that's
tragic.
crazy. He did draw Gorgonian Tome, which is not great for him now, but he did draw into the attack action card into a yellow. So he has to basically get Sonata off of a 3 card reveal. So he can't pitch extra for it because he needs the 1 pitch for his boots. So
Mhm.
pitch candle
Yep.
hold, 1 floating for Sonata is not enough.
He would have to hit the 1 for 3. So what he has to do is he has to block with Exude. That is literally the only card he can block with,
Yeah.
and still be able to pay for all of this.
Hmm.
Well, it's not the only card.
Well,
He could
it
have
has
blocked
to
with
be an attack action.
Pulse.
I believe the boots require you to
Oh,
block with an attack action card.
okay.
So this was
Uh,
the requirement here. Yeah.
yeah. And so I respond as a reaction for Artivore to try to, a little sneak attack damage here.
Mm,
So I choose +1/+1, and I
of
choose to
course.
banish, obviously.
Yep.
Yeah, and the reason I do this is to like guarantee it.
Oh
Like I'll
no.
guarantee
He's
lethal here, right?
he's going in for it. Oh my goodness. Okay.
And then he
I mean, why? Of
creepers.
course you do it, right? You gotta try.
You have to.
You gotta. This is the best way to win. Okay. So
Yeah,
what does he flip off the
creepers.
top? I guess it won't show us here, will it?
Well, see, it's still resolving. So
Yep. So
now it's
now Sonata's
resolving,
resolving.
and now he wins. It's so
Oh,
anticlimactic.
he got it off the top. Yikes. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's unfortunate for you, but it wasn't that hard for him to do, given that he drew the Sonata, right? 1 out of 31 cards, he got it. I don't know if he ran. So you would probably know if he ran Sigil of Suffering because you ran a few games into him. So did you know at this point that that was actually a threat, or you just
I
haven't seen
just
any in the multiple
I
games or the
just
few
I
games you
just
played?
don't think Sigil of Suffering and Briar and Blitz right now is a good
Is
card.
that good? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm assuming he doesn't because like the thing is Sigil of Suffering is a brick 99% of the time.
Yeah.
Like for a lot of like aggro hands,
Mm.
like you're gonna what if you snatch and you do all this crazy shit with Force of Nature and then you end up drawing Sigil of Suffering. You just cry.
Yeah. Oh
Like
yeah. It's
it's not
terrible into Sonata, of course, because it's a non-attack slash attack action, non-attack action. So
and and it's like what do you
kills it.
run the one and pray? Like if you're gonna run it, run 0 or run 2. Oh, sorry, run 2.
You'd run to.
You're gonna run it.
You'd
Yeah.
run to. Yeah.
So I was pretty sure his only out was Sonata, and that would require him to draw Sonata at that point,
Yeah.
and then have the blocking card, and then
And
come out with
to be
Sonata
able to
and
pitch
hit.
for it. Yeah. Exactly.
And he has to hit. That's the key, right? So all
Yep.
those things have to. So I was just like, well, I'll go to 1, and then I guarantee the win there because if I actually have Blaze Headlong and Lava Burst, and I
Hmm.
banish either of them, I think we played it as if he didn't have Sonata, and I drew the
Mm.
2 cards, and I was like overkill. I think I ended up doing like 17, 18 damage on
Okay.
his 9.
So the gamble was well worth doing. It's just that he drew it. What can you do?
It guarantees lethal off a full block.
Yeah.
Off of a 10 to 12 block, I still get 9 over.
Yeah. And I don't
So,
know
like
if
I
he had the
guarantee lethal.
embodiment.
He did.
He did because he hit you last turn, of course. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So he had the
He hit me
embodiment.
with
So.
yep. So it
Um,
does get over the embodiment, which is
but
what I was considering.
the only things that he has that block for 4 are the channel mounts, I believe. Earth lore, any of the Earth cards, I believe, block for 2. So they
Yeah, they
would.
just block for 3
So
now.
you can pretty much expect that he has a full block of 12, like maximum, unless he drew into channel mount, right?
Well, and this turn he drew into Gorganian too. So if
Which
he
is
didn't
even
have
less.
Sonata, he
Yeah.
has a non-blocking card. Obviously, low chance he does, but
It's
you
the
know,
1 in 31, but yeah,
it's like a hand that high rolls and low rolls at the very same
it's
time.
true.
It's kind of irritating.
Very not good blocking hand, but very good for exactly lethal on you if you have 1 HP. It's quite
Exactly.
good. Yeah,
So,
I've actually never seen the creepers played that way. I knew it was possible, but it's like you don't often do that. It's usually on your turn for big combo turns. But to get a lethal off of
yeah.
a Sonata is pretty funny.
I thought it was entertaining. Um,
Yeah,
I have definitely seen it happen, but usually they end up pitching into it to do two arcane. So
right.
they'll like try to work around it, but then they're
Yeah,
still gonna hit the two arcane, and I'm just like, well, if he's got everything aligned, he still could
yeah,
hit two, and I just like miss lethal because of it or something, or he
yeah.
hits one, and then without that extra card, I just miss lethal.
And
I
seeing
just
him
die,
play
right?
one of them early too gave you that green light. That you're like, okay, he's played one, so what are the odds of him trying the second one?
If he did not already use a Sonata, I definitely go to two.
Think that yeah, okay, yeah,
I do not go to one in that scenario because he is way more or less 2 out of 31 cards, but
yeah.
he's or 30 cards, but
Double the odds, right? I mean, it
you're
is way
double the
more
odds.
likely. You're doubling the
It
odds,
is
right?
1 in 30 between 1 in 15, and so it's two
Yeah,
and 30 instead of 1 in 15. It's
yeah.
just much
You go
better,
from
right?
3% to like 6%. Hey, something,
Yeah, and that's per card, right? That's just like 1 of 30, then one of
right? So you,
29, then one of
yeah.
28, then one of yeah. So
Uh,
it's the more
Bringing
times you
back some
don't hit it, right?
stats, my stats knowledge, it's all out the window.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So if he did not play a Sonata, I would have gone to two and not one. I would have blocked with Lava Burst in that case.
right. Kept the mask. Mask would have been still pretty good on your turn because you had, probably a few more attack actions to play off of the Art of War. So
I
you would
drew,
definitely
yeah,
like threaten the mask, right?
I think I drew another red go again attack, and I drew a blue, which is actually really good because then
Mm-hmm.
I have four Ember Blade
Get an
also,
Ember
so
Blade
I'll be
as
able
well.
to.
Yeah,
Yep, I'll be able to Ember Blade come in for four, Phoenix Flame come in one more time, Blaze Headlong come in for five. Like it's a pretty strong turn, and he's only at 9 with no armor left other than creepers.
it's quite
So
good.
it would have definitely either stole tempo away and then won the game off of it, or like you
Yeah.
know
So what'd you learn about the matchup then? If you're looking to play a Blitz, hero in at Worlds, are any of these viable heroes, and what's the matchup kind of look like?
So I think aggro mirrors are a bit of a variance cluster. Like it's just
Yep.
like try to go second and pray to God. Like the thing is like you can run Arcane Barrier, but then I wouldn't have Shuko and I wouldn't have Snaps, and not having either of those also could lose you the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would have possibly ran Tie Flippers. That's like the only change I would have
Oh
made.
yeah,
However, the issue is that if you run Flippers, you can't give E Strike go again, and you can't give Snatch go again.
it's fair.
So if you're running both of those cards, you need snaps to give it go again. Uh, I believe, yeah, because it has to be 2 power or less to be able to use tide flippers.
For
So
time,
you
yeah,
can use it
yeah.
on yeah, you can use it on like a lava burst or assault the wound, which obviously you still run.
You
You
still
can't
run.
grab them with Mask of the Pouncing Links.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you got to
because
draw that thing
they're still
naturally now. No more cheating it out.
yeah, too early space, right? Blue snatch is fine, but yeah, you can't do it on snatch or e strike. So it could be a dead card. Like so,
Yeah,
I don't know if I really want to run that over snaps. Depends on your deck list.
yeah.
I think if you're running aggro, I think Fi is definitely solidly in the B tier. If you haven't checked out a Blitz list, Blitz tier list, go check that one out because it was prepared after the ban list. But I think Fi is no longer in that A tier, S/A tier,
Right. Like as the premier
low
aggro
S.
deck in Blitz.
Yeah, Lynx, you're taking 5 to 8. I think I talked about it in the tier list, but you're taking
Yeah,
5 to 8 damage off the board. And in
yeah.
aggro, that's a big deal,
You're bringing
right?
in the Mask of Momentum, which is more of a prolonged value card, which is much more
Mhm.
suited for CC. In Blitz, if you're looking at like here, we had like 3 turns, right? It was over. So there's
Yep.
really no way that Mask of Momentum would be better than Mask of the Pouncing Links here because you're giving up upfront 5 to 8 damage for
Yeah.
pressure that you can exert throughout the game, and here it didn't matter as much
Correct.
because it's over 3 turns.
Yeah. He also like he just blocked with armor, like you saw in
Yeah.
like the Phoenix Flame,
A
like he
one
just
block was
blocked out
enough
with
to just cut out Mask, so it does have its weaknesses, but in CC it's quite good.
mhm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would if you want to run aggro, I'd probably run either Briar or Chain,
Right.
depending on what you think
Chain
you're going to
did
see more of.
rank pretty favorably on our list. Yeah.
He did. I think Briar is still better. I think Briar is the preeminent aggro deck
Hmm.
going into Blitz. I don't think that's changed just because of the disgusting things she can do.
Yeah.
Especially with Channel Mount, Force of Nature, Creepers that in. Like you still have some crazy stuff up your sleeve, but I think that's still the best deck. I think Fi is like solidly B tier. I think he's fine. I wouldn't bring him to Worlds. I wouldn't bring him to Battle Hardened either. I don't think there's like a matchup that you're superiorly favored into the top decks
Mm.
that you would be way more favored than like Chain or Briar.
Yeah.
So mm, probably would rather run Briar, but
Yeah.
yeah. And other than that, like maybe if you want to bring in the flippers, if you're going literally second. However, we played another game before this, and he ended up having no arcane damage.
Okay.
So he
Yeah.
either has 0, he could
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
one, two,
Turn one, he
three,
had four
four.
here, so it's
He had
quite a
Sonata,
bit different
Bramble, Sonata, Rosetta,
into
right?
Rosetta.
So
Yeah.
like he only has so many arcane sources that he can do more than like 1 or 2 damage with. I'd say on variance, on average, you're taking 1 or 2 turn one usually.
Yeah.
So I would keep that in mind if you're considering doing it. It's like, okay, well, you'll prevent like 1 or 2, but most of the time you're never get after turn 0. If you're not literally going second, you're not going to want to pitch a card into Arcane Barrier. Icelander is where you bring in the flippers, because then in that case you're pitching to prevent one of the ice veins, and you're using the other two to pay the cost. So that's different though, because
Okay.
you're
Yeah.
literally preventing.
A single blue for
Uh,
the whole ice vein.
yeah, if you have the blue, you get to prevent 1 damage, and if you do that over like two or three, and you end up like losing by 2 or 3, then you could have won if you had the
Yeah.
flippers kind of thing, right?
Makes sense.
Depends on how many blues you run, blah blah blah, all that kind of thing. Take everything we say with a grain of salt. It's just kind of the wound, but that's kind of what
Mm-hmm.
we figure out in these kinds of testing games and what we see in the meta. So with that being said, I know this game was like 75% analysis, and then we'll have the timestamps to make sure for the gameplay. But that's just how it is, right? Because it's always a thought process about these quick games. Because if this game is 3 turns, you have to think about
Every
this.
turn
Like you have
counts
to
so
be
much
sure.
more, so that the right
It does.
decision is going to count a lot. Yeah. Yeah. Go a
Yeah, there's
long
a lot
way.
of decision making. Yep. With that being said, if you like this kind of content, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. That being said, we will have more Blitz replays in the future, probably weekly or bi-weekly, heading up into Worlds, and
Yeah.
probably a little bit
Feel
after.
free to let us know in the
Uh,
comments if you like this format, if you like the analysis, if you just want to see straight up games of Blitz. I mean, I know a lot of channels do that already, so we try to be a little more unique on our own spin. But if you like that kind of stuff, we can put that occasionally.
we could just throw these up with like us talking if you just want to see me and Nia shitting on each other. Just like it's pretty funny, but it's just kind of a little bit R-rated sometimes. But like we could
It's
put
just a
up
little bit.
gameplay. That's fine. It's really whatever you guys want to watch. We don't really care that much either way because we're recording the game regardless. So that being said, from wherever you're watching in the world, have a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Bye for now.